ROUND2 Senior High School and Taichung First Senior High School. The proposition for today's debate is that the Taiwan government should abolish the death penalty.
For debaters, rules for continuous speech are as follows. When there are 30 seconds left, you will hear a short ring. When time is up, you will hear 2 short rings. When the 30 seconds includes the extension, you will hear a long ring. And upon hearing that, you have to stop your speech. And rules for having your cross-examination are, when there are 30 seconds left, you will hear a short ring. When time is up, you will hear 2 short rings. And upon hearing that, you have to stop your cross-examination.
Each team needs to prepare evidence cards for cross-examination. Any evidence cited during the debate should have a corresponding evidence card, which may be reviewed upon request by the cross-examiner and their teammates. The cards need to be returned at the end of the constructive speech following the cross-examination. For the audience, please turn off your cell phone or turn it to the vibrate mode. When the debate is still in the progress, please do not chat or use flash while taking pictures. Thank you. First, affirmative constructive speech, 4 minutes.
Honorable judges, fellow opponents, good afternoon. Before we get into the topic, the term death penalty needs to be defined and clarified. According to the Oxford Dictionary, death penalty is the punishment of execution, administered to someone legally convicted of a capital crime of Penal Code. Hence, for this proposition, we the affirmatives strongly believe in the need to abolish death penalty. To begin with, we the affirmatives believe that life is supreme and of essence. Life is the advent of all kinds of rights. No matter what one has committed, depriving all of his or her rights would be too severe a punish. We would now like to point out the 2 significant harms in our current system: the impossibility of making up for misjudgments and the deprivation of inmates' right and chance to be redeemed. First, the death penalty puts us in threat of being deprived of life innocently. To make matters even worse, the irreversibility of death makes it impossible for our judicial system to repay the innocent. It wouldn't be fair for anyone to be misjudged, but being deprived of life, there is nothing we can do to make up for our mistakes. Therefore, the first harm of the death penalty is the irreversibility of death and how it is impossible to repay the innocent's death. Secondly, we the affirmatives believe that the government should be partially in charge of correcting and redeeming criminals in order to make up the mistakes that have been done, instead of just putting an end to their lives once for all. Take the case of Deng Hongren. The economical shortage eventually made him desire the death, and his sentence to capital punishment after killing a little girl is exactly what he needed. The same story goes to Zheng Wenqing, Zheng Jie, and Qiu Yeyuan. And it is the failure of education, flaws of welfare system, and injustice of the society that circumstantially resulting in the disordered behaviors of criminals. The criminals are responsible for their violence. However, the society is also partly responsible for it. The second harm of death penalty is that it deprives the inmates of their rights and obligations to be rehabilitated and resocialized. As I mentioned, the criminals are failures of our education. If we choose to kill them irresponsibly instead of rehabilitating them, what significance does it bring to our judicial system? Do we simply give up every time we fail? With every inmate sentenced to death penalty, we are ignoring the detriments over and over again without truly facing it and making amends. We believe that our society is in need of a restoration instead of a punishment. Sentencing one to death does not heal the wound of the victim's family. It doesn't compensate the relationship between victims and criminals. It brings back nothing to the family and the society. Taiwan needs a new system in which one can restore his or her relationship with the victim's family and contribute to the society. The affirmatives believe it is more meaningful for criminals to repent rather than killing them, leaving the society with hatred and sorrow. Therefore, we strongly suggest an alternative plan, which is to sentence criminals to life imprisonment without parole. In this case, no paroles will enable inmates to be released. A life imprisoned inmate will undergo rehabilitation through the intervention of professionals. Combined with the implementation of prison factory and the incentive system, criminals will be able to contribute to the society, even while they're inside the prison. Moreover, the concept of restorative justice will be included in our alternate plan, where the criminals will restore their relationship with victim's family. Our second affirmative will give out more details concerning the plan. Our alternative plan will be able to solve the harms we mentioned, balance the cost of criminals, and most importantly, bring love and forgiveness back to our society. Thank you, and now I stand ready for cross-examination.
Second negative cross-examine, first affirmative. 2 minutes.
First of all, I want to make sure, did you mention the first contention is misjudgment and the second one is redeem?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask that, do you believe that we should give them education because the society have responsibilities on them?
We believe that we should give them education because the society is partially responsible for it.
Exactly. So you believe that if we give them education, then that means we have, take the responsibilities with the society have to they can take the responsibilities, right?
It is a way for them to take their responsibility.
So in death penalty, we can also give them education before they were executed. So why makes it different? Why should we abolish death penalty?
Well, the fact is that in our current system, there is not education or rehabilitation or or redemption for the inmates. So
oh, sorry, there is.
But
yes, there is. So secondly, can you give us any statistic that about the recent misjudgment cases?
We don't have the statistics, but we do have cases, and we have evidence for that. And we believe even one misjudgment case is too much a risk. Like no one wants to be misjudged.
So you said this was a significant problem, but yet you cannot give any evidence about the significance of misjudgment. So you still think that is significant?
Yeah. We are able to give you cases. We have evidence card right there.
Okay.
If that's what you needed. And to us, it is just too big of, no one wants to be misjudged. And even one is too severe for the affirmatives.
Okay, so next question. You say you want to let them re-socialize. What do you mean by re-socialize? Thank you.
First negative constructive warnings.
Good afternoon, honorable judges and distinguished spectators. The negatives believe that if death penalty is abolished, it will bring more harm than benefits to us, and thus it's necessary to retain the capital punishment in Taiwan. To begin with, death penalty brings significant deterrence effect to the society, including the potential criminals. According to rational choice theory, all actions taken by people are rational self-interest action. Therefore, we are born to avoid punishment, and since that capital punishment is of the most severity, and its deterrence effect is also the greatest. Take the following analogy as an illustration. A child always takes the candy on the top of the bookcase without his mother's permission. The mother tells him if he does that again, he will have to kneel in front of the bookcase. The child will then take candy to the toys because he is afraid of the punishment. However, if the mother tells him that the punishment changes into kneeling on the abacus, the child will be even more afraid of the punishment and be less likely to take the candy without permission. As for capital punishment, because it's the most severe penalty in Taiwan, people will not dare to commit crimes that could make him sentenced to death. Take Zheng Wenqing, who cut a boy's throat in Tainan. He said that he wouldn't be sentenced to death if he only killed 1 or 2 people. If Taiwan were a country without capital punishment, he could say, it doesn't matter how many people I kill because I won't be sentenced to death. That is, the existence of capital punishment would affect people's opinion toward crimes, because the more severe punishments are, the more effectively they can prevent crime from being committed. Furthermore, take South Korea for instance. South Korea hasn't executed any perpetrators since 1997. However, from 1998 to 2007, over 800 perpetrators are accused of homicides. Since South Korea stopped executing criminals, the number of murderers has soared up 32%, which shows that the practice of death penalty does help deter murder. Second, retributive justice. Let's see the following example first. In 1993, when Zhang Renbao was serving in the army, he saw an 83-year-old woman wearing a golden necklace. Because he didn't have enough money to buy drugs, then he bashed the old woman on her head. After that, he not only robbed her of the necklace, but also raped her. Besides, he feared that his identity would be revealed, so he snatched the old woman's nose with a rock, stabbed her chest to death with a long iron bar. Upon hearing about such inhuman homicides, it's very natural to feel disgust. In fact, the very authenticity of this repulsive feeling that everyone is experiencing right now is our strongest argument. The poll done in June 2015 shows that 82% citizens disapprove of the abolishment of capital punishment. That's it. People think that only capital punishment can keep us safe and bring us justice. Of course, the negative aren't suggesting that legislation should be based solely on public opinion. But the affirmatives ought to provide sufficient reasoning if they wish to go against the will of the majority. We must retain the extreme means for extreme cases as mentioned above. On one hand, it's used to deter the perpetrators from committing murder. On the other hand, it's used to meet people's imagination of justice. Therefore, we strongly oppose the abolishment of capital punishment. I'm now ready for a cross-examination.
First, affirmative cross-examination. First, negative.
Do you agree that life is irreversible?
Yes.
Is there any way for a dead person to contribute to the society?